glasses on or no glasses?
I'll do no glasses on the next one.
Okay, but is the glare bad?
That's so fair.
How many hands am I holding up?
4! You're not far enough.
One hand.
What?
She has a degree, y'all.
And a job.
And a job.
Woo!
Welcome back to the Through Her Eyes podcast.
Yay!
I'm Olivia.
And I'm Malia. Today we are going to be talking about the weekend that we have been hyping up all year. We have not sat and talked with y'all about what graduation and launching the book was like. And a lot of emotions, lots of tears.
Lots of tears.
Lots of tears. Just lots of stuff that went down. So we're just kind of giving you guys insight because you guys have been part of our journey so much up until this point, and so much support, which thank y'all so much. So we just wanted to catch y'all up. So I don't know where you flew in a couple days prior.
Yeah, and I guess we should backtrack and just say, if you've been watching the podcast that you watched, we filmed in January in 2 days.
All of them.
And we didn't have a book.
If you look back, we have a book, but it was literally the cover on like a different book by a different author. This is the first time we've held
This is the
our
actual book.
Woo!
But if you know me and if you know marketing, you gotta kind of do a little something, a little zhuzhing, as Brandy McMichael would say. So we had to mock it up. We literally, like she said, put a wrap on a book so that we had something to show and share, even though we didn't have anything to show and share. And a lot of the topics we talked about were things that we were writing, but we hadn't finished writing.
There was very little from when we filmed those podcasts. There was so little that was actually written. It was kind of scary.
It was scary.
We're so proud. But the fact that it was January, we were filming podcasts, we were starting marketing, and there was almost nothing written, we're crazy.
Which just says anything's possible. You can do anything. I know people out there, especially entrepreneurs, know what we're talking about, and this is not new. Yeah. This is somewhat normal, but also probably something you shouldn't do. You probably should write the book before, or at least while you're marketing, not like completely flipped around.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because also adding on to those layers, this last semester was my last semester of college, which we mentioned this in podcast. I had my capstone, which now I've done my capstone, which these past podcasts I was just talking about it. I hadn't started. But you were finishing your master's, I was finishing my degree, and pretty much writing a whole book all between January and March.
Because we had 2 months, 2.5 months.
Because our goal was to have it done end of March, and by the glory of God, we had it done end of March.
Yeah.
But anyways, there's just a lot to
telling you all of this.
We're being real with our audience, with our friends.
I hope they love us for it.
It's just, with the podcast all being filmed in January, we kind of get to update you on that weekend, but also just all of the emotions since January. Yeah. Since those podcasts, none of this past semester had happened.
That's very true. So again, while we were filming those podcasts, the podcasts in themselves and filming them were emotional, some of them. But we hadn't really delved into the emotions of writing yet. So I was a wreck. Like, we filmed the podcast fine, whatever, they're in the bag. But then I would say the month of February and March, I had to relive a lot of the trauma and things of my life that I had not dealt with, talked about, healed from, etc., and finish my master's, defend my thesis, all of the things. It was rough. It was the hardest couple months.
I could have never anticipated when we first pitched the idea to each other. I think it was, I went on a spring break trip to New Orleans, which was so much fun, and I was trying to finish the book before I left, or majority of it, so that when I got back, it would just be done, at least my parts of it. And I was writing about you and Dad's divorce, which I was like, fine, whatever. I was 7 when it happened. Me and my brother, we were moving, new families, like, what is the big whoop? Wrote it, oh my gosh, I was bawling my eyes out of just because writing it, I had to sit and think about that time, especially because I was 7, so what feelings were I feeling back then? So it was like reopening wounds almost, and writing about wounds that I've never thought about because it happened so long ago. Writing about my first friend breakups, tears, and then my capstone it was a fictional version, but I did a fictional memoir for my capstone that was heavily based off of the book, off of our stories. And so I wrote about you and Dad's divorce twice.
In 2 different ways.
In 2 different ways.
Yeah.
I wrote about my friend breakup. I wrote about my first heartbreak relationship rise. I wrote about the football guy twice. Like, I wrote almost everything twice in a matter of 2 months.
Wow.
So January, we would have been like, oh, I got it. Hyped myself up. And then I was writing it, and I was like, whoa. Like, I had to wait to the very end to write. It's like midway through our book, and that was the last chapter I wrote, because that dealt with friendships, romantic relationships, and divorce all in one chapter.
That was one of the last ones.
And I was like, I can't do this right now. Like, I can't.
But you did it.
Woo! I'm so proud. I'm proud of what I wrote. It was really hard to, but capstone and the book, reading back through them, it's a major accomplishment. But it was just a lot. I was so tired, y'all. I think I was up.
You're emotionally drained and physically,
mostly
mentally.
Physically, y'all. This is super exposure, but I got a C in one of my classes at the end of my last class of college, purely because of the number of absences and tardies I got. Like, assignments wise, I was like A+. My teacher messaged me right the week of graduation, was like, hey, you have over 12 absences and tardies, but that's gonna give you an F, so I'm gonna give you a grace and give you like 10, which
Praise
thank you.
God.
Praise God. But that was my 9 a.m. and I was staying up till like 4 or 5 a.m. to capstone, and I'm an RA and the book and apply for jobs.
And
like,
see, and I wasn't. Like, I can't stay up late and actually do anything like productive with my brain. I could maybe binge a movie here and there, but I can't. So literally 9 o'clock would come, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, and I'm like, yeah, I can't write. I can't do
I
anything.
was
So I would
texting you
just go to
updates at
bed.
like 1 a.m.
I know. And so she's texting me like 2,000 words, check, at 1 in the morning, and I'm just like, well, that
Which
didn't
is
help
1
it
your
happen
time and
today.
there's a time jump. So 1 a.m. your time or Denver's time is wait, am I doing this right?
No, you're flipping it.
I'm flipping it. 1 a.m. my time is 2 a.m. Denver's time.
No, that is flipped.
I don't know. I'm not living there anymore.
No, 1 a.m. my time is 2 a.m. your time.
There we go. I was right the
You,
first time.
you got it right the first time.
But just like the difference of timing too, and you being more of a morning person and
Yeah.
me being more of a night person.
So
and
I
had
had
classes.
to get up. Like,
Yeah.
I was up at 5, 6 in the morning writing, or
Yeah.
I would spend an entire Saturday writing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It was a wild writing time, y'all. So proud of us, but man,
crazy roller coaster.
we
So
put ourselves through the ringer.
by the time the book was done being written, then we had to go through the proofing, the formatting, the formatting,
I was literally so
finalizing
over
the
it.
cover, like doing all the things, and then actually publishing. And because we are who we are,
Yeah.
and because we've published books before, we were like, we're just gonna do it all ourselves.
Mind you, I don't think we've ever talked about, when we first came up with this idea, our original idea was to pitch it and to do a big, bigger than
Pitch it to a
self-publish.
publisher.
Yeah.
But I know, and if you don't know this, when you pitch to a publisher, one, you have to pitch, you have to do 150, 200 pitches to get a no, a yes, a maybe, whatever. But then you also lose a lot of that creative control. So the publisher will then design your cover. They will change the title. They will just do a lot of things. And because this was so personal and so much of us and our project, plus again, we published before, we really talked a lot about what the essence of Queen's Quill Publishing was going to be, and the excitement of creating it ourselves.
Yeah, well, and also a timeline thing, because we got back in the mountains and we were still set on, let's pitch it. The timeline to not just get it out in the world would have taken a long time, but also if we pitched it May, the year before we graduated, we would have had the book done by end of summer, in an unimaginable time. Or
I doubt that. I don't even know. It just
it wasn't gonna
so different.
it wasn't gonna come out, and regardless of how quickly we wrote it or who we pitched to, or even if we got a yes in the first try, it would not have been published on graduation weekend around Mother's Day when we wanted it to.
Well, and then here's also the thing about memoirs. It's a little bit different than novels. If you're pitching a novel, you can come up with a concept, a pitch, writing samples. Here's the first chapter, second chapter. Here's, the storyline. You create that, but it doesn't always, a lot of times, but it doesn't always have to be a full manuscript. And majority of the time, with a memoir, it has to be written and done. This is a full-on memoir that you then pitch and then tweak and, you know, on and on and on. So we would have literally had to write the entire thing before we started pitching it.
We would have probably had to have thought of the idea at least a year prior to when we thought it, and a year before we thought of it, had you started your master's at that point?
Yeah, I started it.
I don't know time anymore, but yeah.
But anyway, I'm just so glad we did it because it's allowed us to go through this experience again, and just see an additional level. I feel like we've leveled up in our publishing.
Oh, for sure.
Like 10 times.
10 times.
So if y'all have questions about publishing, and actually we just got an email introduction to a person who is writing a book and has some questions.
Please
let us know, because
let us know.
Done all of the dirty work. We've done, I call it dummy tax, when you don't know what you're doing and you do it anyway, and then you pay either financially or in time or brain cells or all three. And so we don't want you to have to spend that.
Yeah, we're so proud. Well, and also
brain dummy tax.
There's no one else I can relate to. I try to tell people the bonds I have with some people is because of experience. Like me and Gabe have a shared experience in the Logan family of I can only relate to moving houses and just that journey with Gabe. I can't do that with my other siblings. There's some people where I'm like, I experienced this season, or my first roommate. There's only a couple people at Bellhaven who were there for that.
Yeah.
There's no one else who can explain or describe degree, book, jobs, all the things at the same time and what that looks like. Yeah. So, should we have procrastinated that long? Probably not.
No.
But it's...
But also, I don't know if y'all are like this. If I'm doing anything creative, I can't be like, all right, it's creative time. Let me sit down and write about my trauma throughout childhood. Like
creative thoughts don't come to
or even designing.
Like,
let me design this really great, beautiful graphic or poster, logo, or whatever. It comes kind of when it comes. And so, yes, I could have been more diligent. Absolutely been more on my time management, less procrastination, more self-discipline always in my life, daily. However,
push comes to shove, because us having a deadline, it was stressful, but it kicked my tail into gear with both my senior project and with the book. I was like, we have to, because we had a late night phone call. We're like, do we push this launch? Like, we're so stressed out. We still have nothing done. What do we do? And that was like was that a January, February call? That was a, like, 6 weeks out. Yeah, it was a February call. And we had like
we had titles. We were like, here's our chapters.
We had titles forever.
We had so many titles. We had the title of the book. We had like the concept.
We had all the fluff, all the clouds and fluffy sunshine, but the actual
even the marketing. We were like, oh, we're gonna market it like this. We're gonna talk. We had this freaking. We had the description. This is what the book is about, and we had not.
We had a lot of the outside stuff way ahead of time, but actually getting. So, anyways,
but it's good, y'all. Yeah. It worked out really, really well. I'm really proud of this.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off your proud.
I'm really proud.
I know you are. I'm so proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
As a non-writer, I know that took a lot out of you. I'm so proud. You did it.
Thanks.
Transitioning real quick, because we just going through January through April really of what the gritty behind the scenes were that we couldn't even anticipate in the 2 days of filming back at the first of the year. I guess I'll start with you, Mo. How did May 1st through 3rd, because you flew into Jackson on the 1st, then we bailed up, that Saturday was graduation, launch. What was that weekend, now that it's been 2 months, so we can kind of take a step back?
Going into that weekend, it was like I said, formatting, all the things. It was so much that by the time this was actually sent off and done, it kind of was like surreal, like, what do we do now? Like, that's over. Mm-hmm. And then school was over right around that same time. Yeah. And so the catching my breath of this is done, I couldn't process it. I couldn't celebrate it. I couldn't get excited about it. It really just didn't feel real, honestly. And I think I was coming off of that emotional roller coaster, mental exhaustion. Just, it's almost like I felt like I just needed to pass out and sleep for weeks.
Yeah.
So then when I landed in Jackson, I was starting to kind of get that excitement back a little bit, but I would say it wasn't until we were putting on our cap and gowns.
Y'all.
And there's this cute video we'll have to put a clip of us backstage, like waiting to walk, like literally in line, and we were at the beginning, like in the
I was
front
the
of
line leader. I was so excited,
and I was right behind Malia. There's this really great moment too where we were going in to get our cards with our names on them, which would tell you what section you're in, what order, blah blah blah. And I was ready to be mom and be like, excuse me, can you please change my order so I can walk with my daughter?
We had preference what you're talking about, Mom. They told us that they moved you to my ceremony because they changed Belhaven usually just one ceremony and they split it up into 5, which I'm not going to get into because that was a lot. And originally we were supposed to be in separate ceremonies. We emailed separate days entirely, and we were like, can we please have us in the same ceremony? They were finally like, yes, we can change it. They did not tell us what the look of that was, if we were in the same spot, nothing. So we didn't know where we were sitting or if we were next to each other until that morning, like minutes before we walked. We were just kind of like, wherever they put us.
And I was like, no, we're like gonna be together. So I literally marched up there. I'm like, hi, I'm Malia's mom. How are ya? Can we? And then we looked at our numbers and we're like, oh, we are right.
I remember what numbers we are.
What?
27, 28.
Oh god.
I remember random things like that, y'all.
So we were right next to each other. So there's a moment right before we walk on, and she was doing a TikTok, and that was kind of when it was like, wow, this
holy
is
crap,
really happening. This is pretty cool.
I was like, I had all these audios that I found of like TikToks I could do leading up, and the last month was the most hectic month of my life. And ironically, my capstone had been turned in and the book had been turned in already, but somehow that last month of like sending out invitations, getting photos, texting everybody, applying to jobs, where's everybody landing, like all of this stuff was so crazy that I got no TikToks done. We were standing in the line, which for some people it's not important. For me, I had so many cool things planned, y'all, it was sad for me. And I get there and I'm like, dang it, I missed all of these. I was gonna do like a morning of from like Nemo, like today's the day, the tank is clean, like all these different things. And I was like, Mom, I missed all of them. I was like, there's one we can still pull off, and it's the one that we did right before we walked on, which I love.
It's great. You could see the joy in our faces.
The just pure like shock, relief, excitement of like, holy fracking crap. Like, so
it's pretty cool
because it was like a lean in and then you zoom out and you just see us in our cap and gowns all ready to go next to each other with our tickets, and it's just like, what the so
so it's exciting and super emotional.
I was telling throughout the last month, for me it was finishing college, so I was wrapping up seeing these professors, wrapping up having these classes, having a dorm room, being an RA. So it was all these things closing, say goodbye to my friends who majority of them live in the South. None of them were coming home with me. And all of my friends I could see throughout the last month having their emotional like last cafeteria, and we were randomly standing taking pictures and they're like, oh my gosh. So everyone had their like, oh my gosh, and not in a mean way, but they're all like, Malia, you haven't cried yet. And I was like, I know, I've always been a slow reaction. I promise y'all it's not gonna hit me until the day of. I called it. I should have put decent amount of money on it with how broke I was. But I had a Bible study retreat with my girls like a month prior, and I lost it then of just the unknown of it, but I didn't fully realize that I had graduated college with a degree, magna cum laude.
I know,
magna cum laude. I love saying that.
Magna cum laude.
With my mom, like none of that hit until I literally was crossing the stage trying not to fall over, and I was telling somebody who wasn't there. I was smiling, there was no tears, I was walking, I turned around, saw you walk, and that's when I lost it. Like truly, my dad got a video of you walked, I ran in for a quick picture before we were in people's way, get off the stairs, and my dad has a video of me absolutely bawling as we get back to our seats, because that's where it all was like, oh my.
And I'm glad we did that. There was a moment where I was just like, no, take your picture, and I'll take mine, and we won't bother these people with our mother-daughter moment. But I'm so glad we did, because that photo actually is the photo that's used in quite a bit of things.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's the photographer that at the end of the stage takes your photo. So I took mine, stood right beside it, and I was like, not to be creepy, but like, don't mind me. You went, took your picture, and then I slid in, and it wasn't the direct photo. It was whoever photographer was down at the bottom of the stage with like the up angle. That was the photo. And there was one of the workers at the graduation who was at the stairs, and we walked up. She's like, are you guys the mother and daughter that Bella posted about? And I was like, oh my gosh, are we famous?
Yeah.
Yes, that's us. which was so cool that Belhaven, we reached out to them, but I didn't fully believe that we would get any recognition from Belhaven. It was just like, I don't know, they might not, but then they did a whole
article.
Yeah, not a
Talked
super
about
lengthy one,
our
but
book
yeah.
and everything. That's pretty cool.
Which was awesome.
And we had a link so that our family could watch live. That wasn't there.
So we
It
had a
was
lot of
really
people.
special moment.
It was so cool. Yeah. I still kind of think back to it and go through photos and I was like, man, we really, it's a huge thing.
I get that.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then we had a million things happen between graduation and the signing. We got food, my friends were graduating, so I saw them, RA stuff, but then we went to Lemuria and it was time to do our first book event. And Lemuria, if you guys ever visit Jackson, or in Jackson, Lemuria is the best bookstore ever.
Beautiful.
And it's not like a Barnes Nobles, it's a local, they do a ton of local author events. Angie Thomas has signed books and done stuff there. Such a cool community of people and cool bookstore, so definitely check it out. But that was a really another like kind of full circle moment of like, oh my gosh, people are getting our books, we're signing the books. The moment for me though was when we did our little like 1 minute like read our introductions in front of not even that many people. It was mainly
like 10 people.
It was 10.
maybe.
So and the crowd itself wasn't as big as we had liked, but it was some family, friends, and professors of mine, people from my church, and we read our intros and we both almost lost it.
Yeah.
Because we had never read our intros out loud, period. Well, I maybe once just to like scan through, but first time out loud to a crowd, to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got emotional because I was sitting next to my mom while I was talking about my mom.
Aw,
I love you, by the way.
I love you too.
So that was a really cool. That was our first like reading, getting to interact with people, and I felt the beautiful weight of what this is. Like it's a weight. We felt it writing it. I feel it now, but in such a special weight that I get to have the honor of carrying. Because a lot of my friends, they're like, Malia, we love you, we love your mom. I don't have that relationship with my mom. To the point where we're so close, and we full on wrote a book and graduated and do it in joy versus like, oh, my mom decided to get her degree at my school and now she's walking with me. But like the true joy and excitement of doing that even my close friends don't have the same level of friendship with their mom. So
There was one quick thing at the very end. We're packing up, books are in boxes, and we're literally walking to the car, and this woman is walking into the bookstore and somehow hears about it and stops us and reads the back and buys it. She's just like, huh.
just up and
Yeah, that was
Awesome.
cool.
yeah.
That's really cool.
That was so cool. Such a emotional day. I remember we got back and I was just like, I don't have the energy to like keep my eyes open.
Yeah, we were tired.
But then we had Petals and Pages, which is the last, I guess, kind of repack. We posted about it, but that was like
So
mind
cool.
blowing. One of the best book events I've done personally in my
And
life.
that I've ever been to, honestly.
Right? It was so cool. We had a lot of family friends there. But we got to talk with Jenna, who wrote our foreword, and just really dive into things that like we didn't really talk about up until that point, and people who didn't know us got to kind of meet us, I guess.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was good too. It's been a long journey. So
Woo.
again, thank you for being on this ride with us, and continue to watch. We
Yes.
have more podcast episodes, lots more to talk about. We have events coming up as well, so
Yes.
stay tuned.
Oh! Whoa! I think it was one of the first times we said something at the same time and caught it on camera.
On camera. It happens all the time.
The only thing closest is that's like stay tuned is like, I don't know, I don't want to say known, but the thing that throws us out is when we say inside jokes at the same time.
Yeah.
And say lines at the same
And the
time.
same tone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But anyways. I think we should end this here. I don't know what else there is to
Tell
say.
your friends.
Oh yeah, smash that subscribe. I forgot about that. That was so long.
And tell your cookies. And
Yes.
we'll see you